My question is to the Minister for Energy, Minister for Climate Change, Minister for the Environment and Leader of the Government. Given your federal counterpart, Chris Bowen, has declared that the pristine waters off the coast of Port Stephens are suitable for an 1,800 square kilometre wind farm, despite widespread community backlash, what role do you anticipate that the New South Wales Government will have with this project or any of its associated infrastructure? And do you intend to engage in any community consultation on the matter, including attending a rally that has been planned for the 7th of October to hear directly from concerned residents?
The Leader of the Government.
Thank you. I thank the honourable member for her question. In relation to offshore wind, I touched on some of these matters yesterday, but I'm happy to take the House through them again. The Commonwealth is responsible for regulating offshore renewable energy infrastructure in Commonwealth waters under the Offshore Electricity Information Act 2021. Commonwealth waters start 3 nautical miles from the coastline, extend to the boundary of Australia's exclusive economic zone. So the current ambition, which I welcome, from Mr Chris Bowen in relation to developing offshore wind for New South Wales is something that we will have to work closely with the federal government in relation to, but it's something that we're looking forward to doing. Offshore wind presents an exciting potential opportunity for New South Wales's clean energy future. The offshore wind development that has been declared by the Commonwealth off the Hunter, and there is also another one that's being planned to be created for the Illawarra. The process of doing this allows project proponents to apply for licences to undertake feasibility studies about the potential offshore wind projects in the area. These types of projects are some years away, but it's important that all developers engage in rigorous community consultation as they explore the potential for offshore wind to power our state. And that is what is happening right now. The declared area in the Hunter covers 1,854 square kilometres between the Central Coast and Port Stephens. It's 20 kilometres from the coast in the north and over 35 kilometres from the coast in the south. It has the potential to generate up to 5 gigawatts of renewable wind energy. This is enough to power an estimated 4.2 million homes. To put this in perspective for people, our energy target in New South Wales for 2030 is 12 gigawatts. This one project could potentially provide 5 gigawatts of renewable energy. It also is, there's obviously jobs and other benefits. But to go more directly to the member's question, the thing that I would say is any involvement with the state government will develop over time, as there's obviously the link between how you get that, if those projects go ahead, how you actually then link them and get them into the grid onshore is something that will be very carefully worked through with the state, and would obviously require aspects of our own planning policies. We're a fair way away from that. In relation to attending protest, rally, no, I won't be doing that, but I meet with a range of people all of the time, and if people wish to come and talk to me about that, my door's always open.
Can I rise to say a few words in response to Minister for the Environment's response to my question earlier today? I asked a question about her federal counterpart, Chris Bowen, declaring that the pristine coastline outside of Port Stephens has now been declared suitable for an 1,800 square kilometre wind farm. And I want to speak on behalf of Mark Watson, our One Nation candidate for Port Stephens, who has been fighting this draconian decision of the federal government for many, many months now. He has helped to organise a rally for the 7th of October and supported the community out there. There's no question that there's a great deal of concern from residents across Port Stephens. This will be a wind farm that will stretch from Nora Heads to Seal Rocks, and the communities of the Hunter are deeply concerned. I know that the fishing communities are concerned as well, and indeed those who care about their coastline are disturbed that the federal government has made a decision to, one, declare this wind farm. We're talking about turbines the height of Sydney Harbour Bridge being stretched across this coastline, this beautiful coastline. We know that renewable energy, and in fact there's an interesting article today that there's a $62 billion black hole in the federal government's budget in relation to how much needs to be spent to actually prop up this ridiculous net zero plan that they've adhered to, knowing all too well that it'll dig us further into economic dire circumstances in Australia. I want to also make it clear that it was disappointing to hear the Minister said that she actually welcomed this decision. Kate Washington, the Labor member for Port Stephens, on many occasions has deferred to the federal government in relation to why this project is proceeding. I've got copies of comments that she's made in Facebook and in her social media, always deflecting any questions about this issue to the Commonwealth Government. So I'm delighted to hear that the Labor state government has made it very clear here today that they are welcoming the decision of Chris Bowen, despite the fact that over 2,000 submissions were received opposing this wind farm, and the fact that there's still questions to be answered, I should say, in relation to why they're proceeding with a project that is so vehemently opposed by many communities across Port Stephens, the Hunter. We know that they responded to the concerns of the Central Coast, because originally this was going to stretch out from the Central Coast to the Port Stephens, so they were concerned that they were going to lose some seats there. But they have decided to really damage most of the coastline here for Port Stephens, and I'm deeply concerned that it's up to One Nation to fight this. That's the disturbing part. You would have thought Labor MPs out there would have cared for the environment. They would have been backing their own communities.
The honourable member's time has expired.